William Marshall, I challenge you to see me one-on-one. Josh Smith, you parading Steve Harvey around the Atlanta USP like y'all actually affecting change. If you really want to affect change, let's have a sit down.
Oh shit! He's
Oh man.
Hey, it's Kyle Sandler from 10 Toes Podcast, 17620-002. That's my number. And we are today with Fred Chambliss and Eric Spears. Want to say retired?
Oh no, forced retired.
Forced retired.
Medically retired.
Medically retired and forced retired.
Or forced out.
Yeah.
BOP officers. Let's jump right into it. Eric, how long were you a BOP officer for?
I started 2010, so my BOP robot number is 39751, and I did 15 years, 2 months, and 6 days.
That's one hell of a bid.
That's a long bid.
That's a long bid. And what about you, Fred? How long were you in the BOP for?
April 2012 to September 23, a total of 11 years, but my last 2 years of that 11, I was sitting at the house on paid administrative leave on an $80,000 salary.
I know part of the story because we were going to try and have you a couple months ago, but there was weather delays and stuff from your plane. But why were you on the bench for 2 years?
Basically, it's retaliation. I was calling out management for their lies, their hypocrisy, and just holding them accountable. Because management, all they do is lie.
So it's funny that you say that because as inmates, we always want to say that the officers, you guys corrected me earlier, the officers and the staff retaliate on inmates, but the retaliation runs deep all the way down, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It runs deep, man, and they don't care. I call the BOP, it's a criminal organization, and the union. Both are criminal organizations because they don't do nothing but lie and take your money. As far as with the union, they take your money and they don't help. And so that's where my guy Eric comes in. That man, I can get into that later on, but it's a criminal organization.
But for both of you, it didn't start off bad. I mean,
I was their golden child for a while, and then I guess I started pissing them off. I know I'll speak for myself. Like, if you go and you do their overtime and you're always Johnny on the spot on call for them and do whatever they ask you to do, you could fuck up all the way through. You could rob a bank and they'll still be like, you're okay. But the minute that you buck any of that, or you're like, I can't do overtime today, Lieutenant, or I can't do this, then they're like, wait, man, I thought you were my boy. I thought you were gonna hook me up. I thought you were whatever. Then you get blacklisted.
So I did a video recently where I said that, for a BOP employee to get fired if they're towing the line, they'd have to go to Washington, D.C. and take a shit on Billy Marshall's desk. Is that about right?
I think his name is Billy Bob. Billy Bob Marshall. And yeah, I can't wait to go do that. Man. Especially if I hit Powerball, I'm going to go, that'd be my first move.
But going back to what I was saying, both of you started off as like hardworking, non-corrupt, good officers, right?
Yeah, I mean, Fred used to do a shit ton of overtime for them, PPT-wise, taking the inmates out of the hospital.
Yeah, I did that a lot. And not only that, before I started doing overtime, I came in just quiet, and then when I started working overtime and noticing that they had an issue with not paying overtime on time, I made it an issue to bring it up and bring it towards management. And when I did that, everybody was pointing fingers like, we're going to get it done, you're going to get your money. And it eventually came to the point where one day I came in on morning watch, and I made everybody aware that if I don't get my money, we might have some problems. And so when I came in and I did my rounds, we did the midnight count, I checked my bank account, I had a regular check, I was missing 40, it got to the point I was missing 48 hours of overtime.
That's like a whole week.
What? And some.
Yeah, it's overtime. It's not regular pay.
No, I'm saying you're talking about 40 hours that you worked a regular job and then another week and a day of overtime.
Yes. And so where everybody was complaining about porter money, I'm complaining about money that I actually worked, So the fact that nobody can tell me where my money is, and it's like we have a saying in the black community. I guess any man, you don't play with a man's money and you don't play with a man's family. And so you play on my family and my money
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. And so when I've addressed this issue with you, and so now I got to take action because now I'm not a guy who's just sits back and don't say nothing. So I let it be known in these emails. I just start shooting out emails and like, hey, and one of the emails that I made it aware was I let them know, hey, if I'm this cool, calm, and collect guy and I'm speaking out and I'm letting you all know what's going on, what about the officer that's rolling in the perimeter with those weapons? What if I'm just making a scenario in the email. What if he jumps out that truck and spray down the front lobby because he's pissed off that y'all playing with his money?
Because this is not just about Fred Chambliss. Everybody's having problems.
Everybody, but I'm the only one who's saying something.
Why is that? Why
well,
are
Fred, you were a union person then, right? Too.
I was a dues paying member. I wasn't the president at the time. Okay. But everybody, it's like we're just trying, especially in Mississippi. And I don't want to talk about Mississippi people, but it's like we're just slave men. We got slave mentalities down there, and everybody got those good government jobs, so they're afraid to speak up. They don't want. It's the government. It's the Federal Bureau of Prisons. You don't speak up, and so but that's not me. And people that know me can vouch that Fred don't bite his tongue. And so,
and this is at Yazoo?
Yes, sir, at Yazoo City. And so once I made it known that in those emails, they took it as a threat. And so I eventually wound up in a threat assessment. I had to explain my situation, what I meant in those emails. They said, okay, you're not crazy, but we're going to bench you. I was put in the front lobby for a whole year.
This is that staff shoe we were talking about.
Yeah, well, there's some things that we're going to talk on here, and the public doesn't know what probably morning watch means. There's 3 shifts. There's day shift, which is day watch, evening watch, and then morning watch, which is midnight shift.
Right. So you're talking.
So some of the acronyms we say, you and I, Fred and I will know. You might even heard some of them.
I know, but
yeah, but
day watch is the daytime. Evening watch is after the 4 p.m. count.
Right.
Morning watch is midnight to.
And
8.
we get shift differential from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You get extra money. Evening watch pay for that. Yeah, shift differential. And then you explained your uniform. What about his uniform? I didn't explain my uniform.
Well, we gotta get into that. I mean, Fred's not working at Foot Locker. I promise you that.
I might have to go to Foot Locker. Can I borrow that? Like, you're too big for me, though, man.
So we can get into it. The uniform, the referee.
Yes, sir.
We see you all over social media.
Yes, sir.
And this is what I personally like about Fred, because Fred talks about his plight in the BOP. But now you're sticking up for everybody that's ever done whistleblowing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am, because I didn't know how big a problem this was, and I just want to thank. I want people to know how instrumental Eric was in my plight, because there were many times that I wanted to give up, man. And this man, he's helped me so much that like you can't even fathom how much this man helped me. And where he was in we're in Florida. I'm in Mississippi. The people that were supposed to help me sold me out.
And they should have been in Mississippi.
They should have been in Mississippi. And I'm talking about not even just on a local level. I'm talking about on national level as well. I was blackballed. And
not just by the agency.
Not just.
You got betrayed even worse by who?
My union president, Ronnie Sims.
And who else above him?
L.O. Davis, Rojas. Sherry Eliano, Everett Kelly, and these are all people that I'm naming. When I tell you, when I can say these names and they ain't gonna do nothing, because I documented everything. These people betrayed me, and they're part of my conspiracy that I filed on October 27, 2021. Everybody's in cliques. They got cliques and they cover up for one another, and they all lie under oath. Everybody protects one another. And for some reason, I became the black sheep. And I thought, being a union member and later on becoming a union vice president, I thought that we were supposed to fight the bad. But apparently that's not what happened.
That's to be organized and work together. That's the whole thing.
Man, I thought.
They do backdoor deals just like politicians do.
Yeah.
They slime just as slimier than BOP's managers.
Man, let me tell you how bad it is. I had my arbitration hearing on October 29th, October 30th of last year.
Okay.
This was just to get my job back. And mind you, I filed several civil lawsuits and EEO complaints as well. But to do this arbitration hearing was just to get my job back and back pay and all that. And before we get into the arbitration hearing, I get told that I'm not going to be able to attend my arbitration hearing, that I'm going to have to possibly testify from home.
Remote.
COVID was over.
Wow.
No, hold on. Let me touch on that real quick. I had a grievance during COVID, and the arbitrator said in the national union, they had an arbitration on this thing too. They were required, because in our collective bargaining agreement, which Trump just shit on and disregarded, we'll get into Billy Bob, but they said that we have to have in-person arbitrations. There's a ruling on it. There's case law on it. So why would they not let this man?
So they're telling you have to have in-person arbitration. They're telling you got to do it on video.
Yep.
Well, they made him do it on video. They did not let him go in there and confront his accusers like in a criminal trial. You're allowed to. They made him stay out.
And based off of Facebook post, they were saying I was making threatening Facebook posts towards the DOJ and the BOP. So they used it as a scapegoat to keep me out of my own arbitration hearing. And I later realized what it was for. It was to use to withhold evidence, and so I couldn't. And then basically I couldn't call out the lies when they were lying under oath. I couldn't do nothing.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
But so back up. So if you're going to an arbitration hearing to get your job back after all the shit you went through, you still wanted to go back and work for the BOP again?
Honestly, I didn't. But I just wanted to go out the right way. I just wanted. They kicked me out the back door. And I just wanted to prove a point to everybody that I wasn't lying, because so many people turned their back on me when they sent me home. And then too, I want to tell you about when I told you about the untimely lawsuit over. The union actually filed a grievance, and on my behalf, after I got suspended for 3 days, the warden had to make an example out of me. The union picked up my case, filed a grievance, and we won thousands of dollars based off what I did. And so you got 100 and some people who signed up for the untimely lawsuit. They won thousands, and you got some of them got more money than me. I got $7,000 at the time. You got some had like $20-some thousand because of what I did. And do you know when I sent those emails out, people were saying you're going to get fired. I shouldn't have sent the emails out.
So you're going to get fired just asking for pay for hours that you already worked. And then we wonder as inmates why the staff is so pissed off.
Staff's you.
And so
diesel therapy. He put on diesel therapy.
I always say this, and you guys can tell me it's true or not because you guys were officers. Shit rolls downhill. I tell you, you never want to be you never want to be mean to the babysitter because the babysitter has to take care of the kids.
Yes.
You don't want to be shitty to the COs and the officers in the BOP, because who are you going to take it out on? You ain't going to take it out on your boss or the other union guys. You're going to take it out on me.
So, Kyle, to add to the point about him being an in-person arbitration, when I worked criminal court here in Broward County, we would make sure that unless the inmate was a violent guy or we thought was a flight risk or was going to do something crazy, we would take the shackles off and take the waist chain off out of them when they were in the courtroom during their trial.
So that they didn't look so guilty.
So it didn't give the appearance to the jury that one way or another sway him. So if we would do that for a criminal trial with somebody that's allegedly committed felonies, whatever, why wasn't Fred allowed? He didn't commit no crime.
No,
why wasn't he allowed in his arbitration?
That is insane.
That's because it was staged.
It was a coup.
It was staged.
Well, I want to talk all about this,
Yes.
but I want to go back to the good part for a second. Because here I am a former inmate with two former correctional officers. I want to know the dirt, man. I mean, like,
I was one of the hardest hacks in there. I was.
So let's back up. Eric, where'd you do all your tours at?
4 different joints. I started at Coleman.
Okay.
I got assaulted there. I had to fight for my life. I was at Coleman Penn. Then I went to Coleman Medium. And then I left my ex-wife behind, thank God. Went up to Otisville, New York, which was dumb because it's cold, and then was there for did 2 years there in the freezing ass cold. Said I'm out. Came down here because I have family down this way, so came back to Miami. Went to FCI Miami. I was there for 3 years, and then I was at just illegally and unlawfully fired from FDC Miami July of this year. So I was there from like November 2018 to July of this year at FDC.
And you worked at big. I always call you worked at the big boy prisons. You didn't.
Yeah,
Not camp or anything like that.
I mean, there were camps to all those things. I never worked at a camp of standalone.
Right.
And the last place I worked at, it's funny because he talked about Joe Rojas out of Coleman. He's a sellout. But dude, Matt Stanley's one of his minions. I said, hey, come down here. Fred and I are going to do this podcast. You guys are just 3 hours away. Come down. You know, you said you're all this tough guy shit. Come down and be on the podcast. Let's do this, bro. But I'm calling them out because I'm punking them out. Because I asked them to come down. Hey, where are you at? You wearing your big girl panties? Come on, come down and talk. Let's talk this out. But so I ended up at an administrative facility downtown at the building, and was
for those that
fired.
don't know, they call the FTC in Miami the building.
Though a lot of these joints have nicknames, like where Boydie Bolger was sent to his death. That's Misery Mountain.
What was that?
That's
Beckley.
No, that's Hazleton.
Hazleton.
And then Coleman Pen 2 is the Deuce. Pen 1 is the Big House. There's Bloody Beaumont. I don't know what the nicknames for
Coleman,
Yazoo.
Yazoo
at
is
Coleman,
called the zoo.
The Zoo?
Yeah, the zoo, of course. Yazoo's a disciplinary yard. We'll get into that in a second. Which one of the two Colemans Pens is a dropout yard?
It's a dropout yard until it's not a dropout yard. So at Pen 2 it is. But that's like before I got there in 2009, a buddy of mine shot an inmate through the lung from the tower during a disturbance there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. There was the most airlifts in Bureau of Prisons history in 2009. They had like 9 airlifts with a mini riot they had there. So it's a dropout until they decide not to drop out. Otisville was a Goomba joint, a mob joint at one point, and then they switched the mission to a
Jew joint.
They have the camp is, but the
medium, right?
medium, the medium's a dropout yard now. But they have a WITSEC thing up there too. I don't want to get into that because whatever.
And then you were at the zoo the whole time?
Yes, sir. I was there my whole 11 years, and like I say, the last 2 years of the 11, I was on paid administrative leave on an $80,000 salary, and the whole 2 years I was at home, I was making management aware, even Colette Peters, that this is illegal.
So let's just back this up for a second. Your issue was that they weren't paying your overtime. That's it.
Yeah, and the promotion. It was the overtime, which we got settled out on. But then after that lawsuit happened, the retaliation came in the form of not giving me awards, and they were bypassing me over my promotion for senior officer specialist. And they were giving it to people who were unqualified. And they skipped me 4 times in a row. And the last time it happened, on the third rip, they gave it to, not to be discriminatory, but these 2 white guys were in the class, a group of 8. And I know for a fact these guys hadn't worked critical posts. One of them had 2 years compared to my 8 years, and the other one had 6 years compared to my 8 years. And I worked all critical posts.
What is the critical post?
Yeah, they're not gonna know what.
Oh, the critical post is basically being like shoe 1, control 1, compound 1, just basically being the number 1 guy on
in whatever area it is.
Yes.
A mobile patrol, because
yeah.
you're in mobile patrol. You could have to shoot an inmate possibly trying to escape, or somebody trying to help break them out or whatever. I pulled the gun on 2 inmates that were trying to self surrender, but we had a mobile trip coming in at one joint, and they just came up and parked right there, and the van was coming back with an inmate from the hospital, and I was like, I pulled the shotgun on. They were like, "Whoa!" I said, "Get over there, go park in the parking lot." They didn't know. They didn't know. They had never been to prison, so but I didn't know if they were there to try to break the inmates out or whatever. So those are critical posts. By the way, they put you in front lobby during one point.
Yeah. They put him in the front lobby.
That's a critical post, by the way, and it's armed now.
Oh, that happened while I was gone.
Well, you were gone, but it's an armed critical post now.
Oh, okay.
Front lobbies are
armed post.
Oh, wow. And see, this is the thing. So there's so many people in my Federal Prison Tips audience and some of the 10 Toes audience that are campers and never seen any more than camp. And now they're like hearing about guns. I'm like, whoa. I mean, I know it. So, when I was at Butner, I was at the Butner 2, Butner 1, and the Butner Low. And the range is right behind Butner Low.
Oh, you hear it going off
and
like nuts.
You hear it going off all the time.
And
as an inmate, you're like thinking, they are practicing in case they have to shoot me. But that's a real thing. Because you were saying that at one point at Coleman, somebody shot through the lung. From the tower.
From the tower. So what happens at the towers is, and a lot of these acronyms, like I was saying, they're not going to know. I mean, Fred knows and I know. You know some. But like when you're in the tower, and I'm not going to give away too much security procedures because we still have people that work there, and we like some of the people that work there. They're not all assholes. There are good people still in the prison.
I feel the same way. I had some decent people that I know that worked at the BMP.
So when shit breaks loose, and all hell breaks loose on the yard or whatever, they'll hit the button, they'll hit the sirens, and it will say all inmates get on the ground, shots will be fired, and then this is at the penitentiary, and then it will say I think in English, Spanish, and in French or some shit or whatever it says, and then like that incident. My buddy, he fired warning shots. What happened was an inmate was coming after an officer. The officer, this big officer like Fred, had the inmate in a chokehold and was backing up to the tower. And the inmate kept coming at him with a knife, and the officer popped him right through the lung, dropped him. Once he dropped, all the rest of the inmates got on the ground.
Wow.
So that's real prison shit.
Yeah.
And real federal prison shit. I mean, some people don't think you hear about that stories in state, but in feds it's different. Yazoo, at least from my perspective, Yazoo and Forest City are disciplinary yards. When you get caught with a phone, you go to the zoo or to Forest City. I know a lot of people at both. Like, what's the wildest story you had when you were active officer?
It's basically the SIA. I would think that's the wildest story. SIA being found guilty of tampering with evidence, coercing inmates, and to false statements and
lie on staff.
Yeah, and
so conspiracy to ham up staff.
And this man was found guilty, and this is the same guy, SIA Jorge Gerardo, same guy who I was reporting. And if they would have took care of it when I was reporting him, he wouldn't have never cost the agency $50,000. So after I got sent home after reporting this guy and part of the other people, the conspiracy that I reported, he eventually wound up putting his hands on a counselor. The counselor, I guess, filed charges, and they wound up going to arbitration. And it came out that this SIA has been violating people's civil rights and just abusing his authority. He cost the agency $50,000.
What, like a settlement or something?
Yes. And so, something like, and he kept his job.
And he's still working there now?
Yes.
So
he still works there, and I'm gone.
So the thing what Fred's talking about is, and the public doesn't know this, the Bureau of Prisons has what's called Office of Internal Affairs, just like your local police departments and whatever. Now, our Office of Internal Affairs is run by Chief Beth Reese. She does nothing. And we've reported a lot to you, Beth, by the way. You're deaf, ears, and blind, and no talkie. Anyway,
is this a Washington position?
Oh, she's making six figures, and so
she's probably off right now.
Well, who knows? I don't know.
Government shutdown.
Yeah. Well, she's off all the time. Don't matter. You can keep on ringing, but the phone ain't answering. So
somebody has a complaint.
So internal affairs is what is the administrative way the agency tries to punish employees. Now, there's a congressional report. I think I sent it to you. It's called the Chairman Russell Report from 2018. Congress investigated this, and I was involved in it. And they basically said, the USA Today did a story on it. They basically said that overwhelmingly, the internal affairs goes after the little fish, the small guys, and they don't give a shit about management. So that's from 2018. Where we're 2025. I mean, the prick SIA that was at FTC Miami that helped get me fired, and the union collaborated with him. Donald Newsom, total trash of the world. But anyway, this clown, he got a Weingarten rights violation sustained against him. So he basically violated an employee's like Miranda rights, and he didn't do so as just like some HR person or some person like somebody. He's a law enforcement officer, a manager, and that got sustained. That got signed, and this guy still had a job. I mean, where can you go around violating your own employees' rights? I mean, if he's violating an employee's rights, what do you think he's doing to the inmates?
That's crazy. I mean, yeah.
And so this guy, I filed a grievance on him. I filed that Weingarten rights when I was union president at FTC Miami from December of 2020 to December of 2022. And I filed a grievance on him because he was doing his investigations untimely. They still left this guy and let him retire. They unleashed him on me. This guy should have been recused from my thing because, I filed all this stuff on him as union president. I even filed a civil rights charge on him. My case to get my job back is coming up in this month, and all this shit's going to be coming up in that case. So I don't want to get too depth into it, but
we know that Fred's issue is that is the overtime and then the retaliation to not get the promotion. What was your issue?
Also Fred's issue was they put you out on administrative leave for bullshit, right?
Yeah,
that was what you got fired for.
And I got offered $300,000 too.
They bribed him. They bribed them for $300,000.
Yeah.
Both of those bother me as a taxpayer because you sitting at home chilling watching TV,
160 grand
on 160 grand, and they were going to give you another 300,000 on top of that.
I'm a taxpayer too.
My lawyers were going to get half of that,
right?
So with the 300,000, I gotta let people know because a lot of people always say I should have took the money, but the money the math wasn't adding up. And so
the math wasn't mathing.
The math wasn't mathing. If I'm making an $80,000 salary, you already paid me to sit at home for 2 years already.
That's $160.
Right. So you're gonna take half of the 300, which my lawyers. I had 2 lawyers on the case, Jonathan Fairbanks and Willie Abston, corrupt. They were gonna take a big chunk out of that, and not only that, they said I was gonna have to pay taxes on it. And then I was gonna have to sign an NDA.
In a non-disparagement and non-disclosure, where you're not gonna tell anybody why you got the money. You're not gonna ever say anything bad about the BOP again.
Yep,
it's a great place to work.
Yep,
it's a great place to work.
I was gonna have to resign, and I was gonna have to drop my conspiracy complaint against management.
So here's a question for both of you: was it ever a great place to work?
Nah, it was a job for me. Maybe in the beginning it was okay, but then my eyes got open. I don't know about Fred.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it changed my life. I mean, because I used to just do a lot of dumb stuff, right, which I ain't gonna say. And so
statute of limitations is up.
So me being hired, and I want to shout out to Terry Large. He the one who told me about the job, but coming into the Bureau of Prisons, it actually changed my life. I had a baby on the way at the time, and my first child, it allowed me to buy things that I couldn't do. It allowed me to buy things legally.
Right.
Let's say that. I bought my first house, bought cars legally. I was able to take care of my family. I got married. It allowed me to just do things that I normally wouldn't do before, but it did. And then eventually, after the untimely overtime lawsuit, like he said, my eyes were open, and I said, "Man, this just like any other ghetto ass job. It's really is. It's a criminal organization,
and they treat the staff like we're inmates too.
Yeah, they
especially do. if you blow the whistle on him.
Oh yeah. Let me.
If you do that, it's on like Donkey Kong. They're gonna put you on diesel therapy.
Even though, and we've all seen it on 60 Minutes, Colette Peters talked about no retaliation.
She's a liar.
But I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy about that though. After the Jeffrey Epstein case, Michael Carvajal testified on the oath, and they jammed him up on the hill. But he made a statement that he wanted staff to come forward, and we have to have the courage to do so to root out corruption. And so when I saw that, I immediately was like, I was sitting at the house when I read this. I was like, oh,
Let me get on the phone and say, hey, let's do this. And
I actually did a video standing on a sign in Yazoo City calling out, this is when the transition happened, when Colette Peters just got on. A month later, after Michael Carvajal made the statement, Colette Peters comes in. I called her out because she lied on the oath and said the same thing. Basically, there would be no retaliation on her watch, and that we have an obligation to come forward as whistleblowers. And when this when I knew that the Bureau of Prisons was really a criminal organization. These people can just sit up on the Hill and lie before Congress.
They're full of shit.
Under oath. And then when we become under OIA investigation or OIG investigation, first thing they tell you, don't lie.
Right.
Don't lie, or they're going to stick it to you. Man, management lie. I've filed several EEO complaints. When I tell you I go through all my EEO complaints, I have 4. When I tell you management, when they make their statements in these EEO investigations, they have to sign and say, under the penalty of perjury, I declare that these statements that I'm making are true.
18 USC 1001.
Yeah, we know that too, because when you're on probation, you can't lie to the probation officer. You violate 18 USC 1001.
But management do it all the time.
Management do it more than the inmates.
Man, what?
I trust the
No
inmates more than the
accountability.
management. I would say 95% of the managers, maybe even more, lie.
This is what I brought. That's why I brought this.
Who's lying? Merrick Garland or the whistleblowers? Wow. What's that from?
That's when he was on the Hill. He
wow.
lied on the oath. This is the Attorney General.
Yep.
Hey,
under
Fred,
Biden.
how many BOP directors have you sent stuff to, and how many of them ever got back to you?
I've seen,
That's a good point right there.
okay.
Billy Marshall got back to him.
Billy Marshall.
Billy Bob
Marshall.
Marshall.
Get back to him.
Billy Bob.
Let me tell you why Billy Marshall got back with me, because I saw his statement in the Forbes magazine where basically he was letting corrupt management officials know, basically the whole Bureau of Prison know, that if he gets wind of any credible information as far as abuse of authority and corruption, he's going to make an example out of you. And he said he's going to make it public to where everybody can see it. And so when I read this, and he's holding people accountable, I said, okay, I'm going to see if he about that life. Because I know Colette Peters for 2 whole years completely ignored me and lied on the oath several times. Not one response from Colette Peters. And so when Mr. Marshall, Billy Bob Marshall, when he responded, it blew me away. It shocked me.
It shocked me too, because we were you carving some media on it, and we were part of that. And then he replied,
He replied, "Oh."
They never do that. Management never replies. And if they do reply, and you know you got them, they'll say this: noted.
You right?
Did I hit the nail on the head?
You did.
When you got them by the short hairs, they'll put noted.
Noted. Wow, man, we didn't even talk about that.
We didn't talk about that shit either. I haven't thought about that in a minute.
Yes. So
have you ever heard from? Did you ever hear from Billy Marshall after that?
No, I have not.
It's been a month now. Or what?
It's been over a month now.
Yeah, maybe 2 even.
Well, Billy Bob is too busy courting
Todd Chrisley.
Todd Chrisley, who is a pardoned criminal. However, while he was pardoned, he was committing crimes and admitting them to Billy Bob Marshall on a podcast he was getting endorsements for. So, by the way, I started this page, the Federal Bureau of Prisons Avengers, and I'm going to put a cut and paste an OSC charge that any former or current Bureau of Prison employees can go to OSC, put that on there for Billy Bob not allowing Chrisley to go to these institutions after he admitted to having a illegal cell phone. 2, 18 USC 1791. There's 5 years statute of limitations, and Billy was letting them go carte blanche to these institutions. So I'm going to put an OSC charge if anybody wants to file it against Billy Bob.
I want to share this with you.
We had a little problem with the whole Billy Marshall, Todd Chrisley thing too.
Now that is from my congressman to Colette Peters and Christian Clark of the Civil Rights Division. The same Christian Clark who convicted the Goon Squad in Mississippi, the 6 white cops who tortured and basically raped, sexually assaulted 2 black guys and shot one of them in the mouth. These 6 guys were locked up. They're in federal prison now. And as you can see, they sent the inquiry out to Colette Peters.
Yeah.
The response that the congressman
Fred,
got
you might
back.
want to show that up to the thing.
Oh,
We'll probably take a picture of it and throw it in there
yes.
too.
Okay.
And so that's the response. They never respond to a congressman. This how corrupt it is, man. This is what I'm telling you. This how corrupt. That's why I say it's a criminal organization.
Congressman Michael Guest writes, as you can guess, I never heard back from Colette Peters or Kristen Clark.
They're above. They're above the laws of Congress.
And this is why they don't speak to me, because I wish I had that before I got terminated. And let everybody know I got terminated with falsified medical records. And if you see that date, that circle, that's the day I filed conspiracy. Before I filed that RICO, when you saw my video, that's when I actually filed the first conspiracy charge on October 27, 2021.
Wow.
Now there's a federal statute, 5 USC 7211. Now we're Title V employees. So what Trump did with the CBA and how he trashed it and shit on it, or Billy Bob did it, they can't do that. There's a federal law for this. But 5 USC 7211, that gives us the right to contact Congress as federal employees. I mean, Fred, I was doing that. I'm a congressional whistleblower, hands down, easy. No, I've emailed them 1 million times, and they still went after me. I wanted to have them present for my Frederica Wilson's office from down here, present for a threat assessment they did against me, and they disallowed them. So if the BOP has the nuts to sit there and tell his congressman, my congresswoman, hey, screw up, we don't give a shit. I mean, what do you think? I mean, they've disallowed different congressmen and different senators non-entry into different places. When they brought Carlos Gutierrez into FTC a couple months ago, that was a dog and pony show, and he was in there saying this and that. I have a report from the CDC that says, for FTC Miami, I sent it to you, which says that employees and the inmates are getting poisoned because of all the drugs circulating throughout FTC Miami.
Right.
And they didn't do shit about it. The CDC said, we recommend you wear gas masks in there. So what kind of if they're allowing your own employees to get poisoned, okay, and didn't do shit about it, and the CDC is telling them to do it, and I mean, that's not a drug-free workplace you're creating or fostering. So if they don't care about how they answer to Fred or answer to a congressman or a congresswoman or a senator, the BOP is its own criminal enterprise.
This is lying to a senator. Fully lying to a senator. And when I tell a senator, because I went to the senator after the congressman, that's Senator Cindy Hyde Smith. Once I told them that the Office of Legislative Affairs is lying to your office, they tell me ain't nothing else they can do. So you just gonna sit up here and let this criminal organization lie to you?
But you got fired.
I got fired.
I think I got fired too.
So they all lie, man. Just lies.
But then they get the small fish and they get the small people. What's his name? Roger Stone. That guy lied and got time for that.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's. You want to talk about Epstein? I can tell you a little bit about that.
What do you know about Epstein?
So let me ask you something, Kyle. If the 2 officers in Epstein, if in the indictment, which I have, it says they didn't do any rounds from 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. Now, people don't know what rounds are and don't know what count is, but up in special housing unit, which is solitary confinement, pretty much all these institutions have them. It's called SHU. Every 30 minutes, you have to do rounds because you got to make sure the inmates are not killing each other, they're not sick, or they're not trying to commit suicide or whatever. So in Epstein's situation, they forced them into an indictment. They charged them with two crimes. One is 18 USC 371, which almost every manager in the BOP, not every, but a lot of them could get charged with. That's called defrauding the United States government. And then 18 USC 1001, falsifying records. So under those 2 charges, they forced them probably under duress, to sign a plea agreement. But yet bring a a video appears of an officer going down range during that time period. So now, if I'm pleading guilty, number one, is that plea even legit now? Because they provided new evidence, and the BOP will not give us evidence for videos for my hearing. They would not give me videos or everything that they used to come after me. But,
so they're saying, what are we saying about so
Epstein officers were forced into pleading guilty, and they had mitigating or exculpatory evidence that they failed to produce. So that indictment that they got, and they were forced to.
So they pled guilty to not doing rounds when they were supposed to.
They pled guilty to not doing rounds and falsifying counts. But
then all of a sudden they had video showing
they said there
rounds.
was no video, but then now a video ended up showing up.
So a video was surfaced of them doing rounds.
Like, what was it, a month and a half ago?
And so if they
saw it, Fred, right?
If they did rounds, then why did they plead guilty?
You think the DOJ is somebody to mess with? Right, Fred? Will they fire your ass, or will they put you under the jail?
And cover up. That's my favorite word, cover up. That's what they do, cover up.
So why would they not put that evidence in there? Why would they not show these officers, well, we know you did at least one round or did this or that? So why would they? Because it's easier. It's a lot cleaner to just say they didn't do shit. It's all the officer's fault. Well, guess what? The lieutenant's supposed to do rounds too that night. Why did he get charged?
So how often is a lieutenant supposed to do rounds?
Every shift.
Just one round?
Yep. And guess what? We just had a recent suicide at FTC Miami. And this clown, Lieutenant Miguel Del Valle, not really want to say his name, is Miguel Del Valle, did not do rounds that night, but they threw the rookie officer under the bus. They basically forced him to resign and told him he was gonna be fine, but then screwed him on the door on the way out. But that lieutenant never did rounds in the David Knisevich suicide. And coincidentally, before the FBI shows up, there's a suicide note. Now, there's no suicide note.
Where'd it go?
I don't know, but there was. So now, if the public hears this kind of stuff and is like, wait a second here, and now they're saying, Trump's saying, oh, it's weaponized. Well, shit, it was weaponized in 2019 when Epstein committed suicide and you forced these officers to plead guilty. That was your DOJ, Trump. And right now, it's your DOJ, Trump, right now, too. I don't want to get too political, but it's his DOJ right now. And that just happened with the Knisevich thing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Chrisley? I know people want to hear about him.
So, like, what do you know about Todd Chrisley? Everybody knows he was bringing cell phones in. He's admitted to that. Everybody knows. Everybody knows he's.
So all right. Now I talked to you about this. It really doesn't matter to me because I don't work for the bastards anymore right now. But BOP staff are not allowed to have. It's their policies. They're not allowed to have contact with inmates until after a year after their sentence is over. So,
Right.
So that I even asked you about that, and you said that you've been out and whatever.
So, yeah, I've been out for 18 months.
Yeah.
But
So
the thing about Chrisley is does it not apply because he was pardoned?
no, it does apply. He was an inmate.
Even
He has
though
a
was
he has a
pardoned?
reg number.
I mean, that's what she said, and I kind of side with what you say, but
Well, I mean, if you can't have it both ways. It's either you're going to follow the policies or not. And
But isn't a pardon saying
Billy Bob Marshall is on probation right now. The Trump administration loves firing these people that are on probation just for no reason. So why the hell is he not on administrative leave right now?
for the whole
For
Chrisley-
having contact with Chrisley, going on his podcast, which he used government facilities, and he was getting paid on government time. And then he's been an inmate for less than a year. Chrisley's not been out.
Yeah, May 28th, I think. Is when they got
And then on top of that, you got an inmate less than a year telling you he committed crimes. You
so,
have a
and not only that, but
responsibility
they
to
had him
report
speak
that.
at the RDAP graduation.
Right, and he was never an RDAP.
He wasn't an RDAP.
So
And
what
you know,
does
the thing
he
is,
know?
a week before the RDAP graduation is when he did that video talking about Chick-fil-A and Culver's.
Yeah.
Saying I brought it in, and they still had him.
And I guarantee if they forensically go through those cell phones and everything else, they're going to find wire fraud and all kinds of other shit. Is DOJ going to do that, or are they weaponized?
No.
Hmm.
And then, I have people I know involved in that whole Chrisley thing, and I can't wait for that arbitration to happen because of all this shit he's done. He's running out there, running around saying, oh, I committed crimes in there. Well, that's nice of you. Well, guess what? There's a 5-year statute of limitation on that. And if they find out that you were doing Cash App and money transfers and everything else like you're talking about on those podcasts and everything, dude, man, you're setting yourself up.
But like he used to say, does that pardon cover that though?
No.
I mean, the pardon. So
the pardon covers him being a fraudster.
The pardon might potentially cover Billy Marshall interviewing him, but the pardon wouldn't absolve him from bringing a cell phone onto the compound.
But that's just hearsay though.
No, he said it on the podcast.
He actually said it on his podcast. He had a cell.
But
he had a cell phone in there.
But that's still. I mean, anybody can say anything. So, but we're all about facts. So until they actually just go through his phones and actually find it, he could just be talking and acting like he was big tough on there in the camp.
I don't believe he had cell phones. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on, Fred.
I'm just talking.
I know you're trying to take devil's advocate, man. Don't come on, man. Let's call spade a spade, man. He had a fucking cell phone.
He had him, man. He had him. Actually, his cellie is from Mississippi. I can't remember his name. I had a phone call with him, and he's supposed to actually. He said he was going to try to link me up with Chris to do get on the show. But I never heard anything back from him. But
he's too busy on Billy Bob's.
Man. But right now, I am calling out Mr. William Marshall because how can you be a leader? Because when I send them emails out, I don't want to see you got it.
Yeah.
Everybody in Yazoo City got that email. Even my attorney got that email. And so when he replied to all, everybody got that email. So if he does not do what he's supposed to do, because I'm legit. So if he does not do what he's supposed to do with me, that means he's still running a criminal organization. And I'm not against second chances. With them bringing in Joshua Smith, I congratulate anybody getting a second chance.
Right.
But when you bring somebody in like that magnitude, and you say you're trying to effect change, and you're kicking out two of the biggest whistleblowers out that's trying to effect change, you're being a hypocrite. That's not making any sense. And it's a slap in the face to the officers. It really is. Like, how can you say you're bringing in change and you're kicking out the people who's being honest about what's going on?
I guess one of my questions is when you get outspoken, such as yourself, trying to do the right thing, and nobody else is going to do it, they can continue to do what they do. Except now, let me ask both of you: without the union in place, what does that mean for correctional officers?
You better not say nothing.
You better not. You better just come in, do your 8, and
hit
skate.
the gate. Yep. They call it skate. We call it hit the gate. Better not say nothing. And he just said, Willie Marshall, I just called him out on this. He said, because I sent it to him. He said, you still have your civil rights protection, your whistleblower protection. Basically, he said everything.
He did say that in the memo to the staff.
It'll still be in place.
Whistleblower protections. So what's going on here? If whistleblowers have protections, what is going on right here? And we're all probably gonna get retaliated on for this.
Man, I want it. I welcome the smoke.
I want to play this. We do these memes and stuff, and we know it's getting under their skin. So this is Jeezy the Snowman, but it's with Josh Smith. On a little donkey mule, like toting some coke and whatever, but it says dropping 8 balls to his homies on the yards with his reg number. But
I saw that. I mean, from my point of view, I think I've talked from the 7 years that I was an inmate.
Right.
I haven't seen an administration attempt to do as much as Josh Smith and Billy Marshall are trying to do. It's just how this execution actually comes off. If they actually, they're going, you see it, they're going to institutions It just seems like they go to institutions and they put up the pictures. Hey, we were there and did this, and then nothing.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yep.
And you know what pissed me off is Billy Bob Marshall, Hillbilly Bob. I mean, oh no, Billy Bob. He said, oh, well, and with one of your TikToks or whatever, you were saying, well, is the union at fault? But when I gave you some other information, did that show you differently? We have 3 people out there. I'm gonna put them on here. I'm gonna put on about Kogan's 2 out there. He got referred to the FBI, and he's still in a position of authority, which is crazy because he lied to our internal affairs, who's a joke. But I mean, these 3 managers at FTC, 2 of them got promoted. One's still there. In the Office of Special Counsel, in a letter to Joe Biden, which I sent to you, it says that they were not following the First Step Act, and this goes to 2023.
Yeah.
It's after the OIG report. So, and Biden got it. So, I mean, all those managers, UM1 is David Richardson up in Brooklyn. He was promoted to executive assistant. He should have been fired. UM2, Tawana Riley out of FDC Miami. She's trash. She's still there screwing over inmates. And then CMC1, Carlos Gonzalez got promoted out to Grand Prairie. So really, are they just going around and doing dog and pony show and having Steve Harvey come around, who's never been in prison and probably knows nothing about it? I love watching him on, what is it, Price is Right or whatever shit he does.
Family Feud.
That one, there it is, yeah. So I love watching him on that. But I mean, like, what does he know about prison? I mean, so like, when you look at these things, is it smoke and mirrors and bullshit? Because if you're really trying to affect change, getting rid of the union, as screwed up as it is, as mad as Fred and I are both at them, they're still a necessary evil, and they need a cleansing. And I had to tell about John Kostelnik and just like how these people are covering for each other, and and just like the union is a necessary evil. They need to be there. What they're trying to do is Trump's just trying to bust the unions government wide to make it easier to shit can people. And his idea, my thing is, I think he's trying to privatize the Bureau of Prisons and give it to Core Civic or Geo Group and split it between them for ICE and whatever, for ICE detainees and federal criminals, and privatize it and give it out to whoever the highest bidder is that gives them money, gives them a envelope on the side.
So what does it actually mean though for a staff member, an officer, and then for an inmate that there is no union anymore now? Like they can't organize. They can't
they removed them out of the office. I know they did over here. So I think all the offices, the union offices, not just with us, but Social Security Administration, VA, they said, here, get your shit, get it out, give us the keys, have a nice day. You can't use the office. So now there's nowhere for them to have meetings or whatever. Now they have to do it outside. But that's not the biggest threat to the union. It's them saying, okay, you're no longer allowed to have official time. I think it's 5 USC 7116 or 7131, I forget. But you're no longer allowed official time. So anything you do with the union, you have to do on your own personal time. Well, guess what? Now, if they have an arbitration or if they have an employee come into internal affairs and you're like, hey, I want my union rep. Well, they're not on official time. You can't use them. So they're violating your rights. There's certain rights that are still there. They're still intact. You can't just, even the Title V stuff I'm talking about, just because Trump did an executive order doesn't mean shit. Just like when Biden did the executive order for the vaccine mandate. I sued Joe Biden in federal court. And that pissed them off a lot. I protested against these people right in downtown Miami.
So did you end up getting the vaccine?
I did for my own personal reasons, but I had a lot of employees say, a lot of former military veterans and then just younger people, every color and race, whatever, come to me saying, listen, Spears, man, I don't want to take this thing because they don't have real clinical trials on this thing. It's something they just kicked out, and they're forcing us to take this. Like, and the ones in the military are like, yo, I already took all this shit the government gave me. I don't want none of this shit. I don't trust the government.
I know a really good CMC from an institution. She was forced to resign because she didn't take the vaccine.
Right. So there were some people willing to say, fuck it, I'm out. And so I said, you know what? I took it because I stupidly believed in it. I got COVID after it. I took that in the booster shit. But I was like, for my old man at the time when he was alive, I was like, I don't want him, get him sick. I want to see him. If this shit works, whatever. If it doesn't work, fuck it. I don't care. I mean, whatever. I was more worried about my old man than about me.
Right.
So, I mean, and the problem, back to the union part, not all the union is good, and I'll admit that, and Fred will too. This little prick, his name's John Kostelnik. He's right here. That's him with Cory Booker. Okay, Kostelnik. I reported him in July of 2023. Joe Rojas made me his hatchet man because he didn't want to get involved and get blood on his hands. But I was the hatchet man for the job, and then I got thrown under the bus by him. But yeah, here is the police report. He waterboarded his ex-wife.
Oh wow.
He's a case manager out in Victorville. How the hell does this guy have a job? How is he still in the union? This got reported to the union.
But
He waterboarded his ex-wife, and he pled guilty to it.
And he still works for the BOP and not you guys.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
we had people bring guns in. Fred will tell you about that too. That's a federal crime. 18 U.S.C. 930. We had people bring guns into the institution, and they get a 21-day gun salute. They get 21-day suspension. I never brought a fucking gun in.
Oh, not only that, we've had over 10 plus people bring in guns at Yazoo. They get first, you get, and it's like the cheat code now. So now you bring a gun in, you get 1 year paid administrative leave, followed by a 21-day
21 gun
suspension.
salute. It's called Glockation.
Man, that's what it is.
Glockation.
Now,
That's what they call it in
mind you,
Brooklyn.
all these people that brought guns into Yazoo City. I'm the only one who get terminated. I'm the only one who get offered money. I'm the only one who got a redacted memo. I'm the only one who Congress and senators are being lied to and not being responded to. I'm the only one who is reporting management for lying under oath in EEO investigations and arbitration hearings. But I'm one of the good guys that got sent home. So, again, tell me how is it that you're trying to affect change in the Bureau of Prisons when you're retaliating against the person who's trying to affect change with you that you say, and you teach us about integrity and having what's the
Integrity, honesty, credibility, whatever,
all
that bullshit.
Man,
There's something about core values.
Core values, all that.
The
Yeah.
core values, yeah. The core values.
It's in every when you go into the.
It's hypocritical beyond.
It's in every institution. They have it posted.
I have a petition out against Josh Smith. I forgot to tell you that.
I've seen that.
I have a petition out. I'm going to post it up on my Federal Bureau of Prison Avengers page too.
I mean, I don't know where I stand on that because there are some states that allow ex-inmates to work for their DOCs.
I get it.
And it seems to be a decent thing. I mean, you would think that somebody like Josh Smith, who spent some time in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, would know something about prison. People always said, "Carl, you should go work for the Bureau." The Bureau can't afford me, but, I probably do know a good amount of things that could help the Bureau.
Well, but we were talking about this before the podcast, and, once we get fired, we're blacklisted. We're blackballed. We can't get jobs. I mean, one of the other whistleblowers, Casey Hernandez, the warden over at FPC Bryan, where Giselle Maxwell is, there's been numerous inmate rapes there that were reported. And guess what? She can't get a job. She's having to move out of the area or move to go find a job. She whistleblew on that and about Priya and everything else.
Oh, she was at Bryan?
She was at Bryan.
Oh, wow.
Well, I want to say this. I did get a job after the Bureau, which was TSA, a higher level of security clearance as well. I wound up going to TSA, and I think that happened because Congressman Bennett Thompson, who was the head chairman over the Homeland Security, which is over TSA, I think they gave me that job to hush me up. And as I was there, the reason I couldn't no longer work at TSA was because, one, every day I went to work, I would see the congressman's face hanging on the wall. They got him plastered on the wall like he's just this great God. And when I went to Vegas for my phase 2 of my training, they had us to get up and give out our class number and salute the flag. That triggered me mentally because I'm sitting up here having to honor a flag like it's good. when I know it didn't mean, how do I have a job, another federal government job, and the Bureau of Prisons saying I'm crazy? They falsify medical records to say that I'm not mentally stable. I'm unfit to be a correctional officer, but yet TSA can trust me to screen people to get on an airplane. It makes no sense at all. So, but after that, I've gone full time into civil rights activism in Mississippi. I'm like the loudest voice in Mississippi. I'm the most watched activist in Mississippi. I've run up on everybody damn near in the state of Mississippi.
I see you. That's one of the things that, before we're running a little long, but one of the things I did want to touch on is like that to me is like, I don't know what the word. I'm very impressed with that. Like, it's not, you've got your own beef with the BOP and with the Department of Justice, but when you see anybody else struggling with these kind of issues in Mississippi, you're out there literally blowing the whistle and fighting for the rights of just everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish there was some way to monetize this.
Yeah, and Facebook said I'm not following their guidelines.
Yes,
TikTok won't let me.
They buried you.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, wow. And it's never about money for me, though. Even though I want to provide, I take donations, but I found a passion for this. And I realized it was God's higher calling. It was more than just the BOP. And I give you this. I asked God to give me something else to do. After I made rounds of morning watch, I went into the bathroom and I actually got on my knees and prayed to God. I said, I'm blessed and thankful for what you've done for me with this opportunity in the Bureau of Prisons, but I know I have a greater calling and I want to do something else. And they say when you ask God for something, you better be prepared for it. And man, when I tell you I was not prepared for this, but I'm glad because it showed me who's in my corner, it showed me who's for real and who's not. And it showed me that corruption thrives in Mississippi. Because I don't know if you know about the $100 million welfare scandal with Brett Favre, which Hall of Famer Brett Favre is involved in.
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, that's been old
Oh,
news.
yeah. They've
News.
stolen $100 million from the poorest people in Mississippi.
Brett Favre has?
He was involved, yes.
Wow.
Yes. And nobody's been convicted. They just keep talking about, we were going to go after these people. We're going to go after them. Nobody's been arrested, but they're still arresting the little fish.
Was that like 4 or 5 years old now, right?
Yeah, yes. And not only that.
I was in prison 4 or 5 years ago.
Man, not only that, you got the police burying people behind the jail and Raymond Detention Center. People missing their loved ones, they're burying them behind the jail. And it only came up when this guy, Dexter Wade, his mother was looking for him. And eventually a detective came to his mom and told her that she knew where the body was at. He was buried behind the jail, and he was run over by a police officer crossing the highway. And they knew who he was because they said they found his medication was still in his pocket when they dug him up and to have a proper burial. But there are so many cases in Mississippi that they have covered up. Just like Trey, you heard about the hanging?
They just had a hanging, right?
Yeah, they just had a hanging.
2 black men got hung.
Well, one was one black and the other one was white.
Oh, I didn't.
But it just come out now. Colin Kaepernick, they tried to say the guy on Delta State University, which I thought was a HBCU, but apparently it's not a HBCU. It's a white school. But he was found hung in a tree, and they ruled it as a suicide. But Colin Kaepernick, his foundation, along with Ben Crump, they stepped in to get a second autopsy. And it just came out today. I haven't got the official word, but they're saying that I got the word, but it hadn't dropped in the news yet. But the word from Marquare Bridges, who's close with the family right now and working with them, they're saying there was blunt force trauma to the back of that man's head, Trey Reed's head.
How are you going to commit suicide, have blunt force trauma?
Right. So now
make it make sense.
Make it make sense. So now we got a whole nother thing we got to go on now. And so that's why when I do my press conference, I try to tell people, cover up, cover up, cover up. That's the word to be looking for, cover up. They love to cover stuff up. And so that's where I come along with my whistle. and I blow it like there's no tomorrow.
Hey, what about the guy that with the sheriff and the that suing him and all that? I don't know if he wants his name put out there, and the judge and all that. You know with the audio, the guy I was on the phone with you with.
Oh, you talking about?
I don't know if he wants his name out there.
Jamie
Like
Partridge.
Okay,
Jamie Partridge.
This
yes,
interesting here.
Man, he was facing 10 years because he was exposing the county clerk, which is the wife of the sheriff down there. He was just exposing the corruption down there in the sheriff department, and he wound up seeing my story and reached out to me and sent me some of his stuff, and it went viral. I posted it.
He's suing him now, right?
Yeah, he's suing him. He reminds me of another Eric, man. I'm talking about these are some badass white boys, man. I tell you, man. I'm talking about him and Eric. Man, ain't nobody messing with him, man. You see how he spit out them laws?
Yeah.
Man, and he's in part of my second news article, too. I got to tell everybody. I'm on the front page of the local paper, the Jackson Advocate newspaper, which is the longest running black paper in the country. Eric helped me with a lot of it, and he's in the second article. And he helped with my appeal process.
With the union screwed you.
With the union denied to filing it after I exposed them in my arbitration.
Oh wow!
So he had to appeal his arbitration, and what happened with his arbitration was so screwed up was the union went to the agency. What's his name? Ronnie
Sims.
He went to the agency. It was a snake in the grass, and ended up telling these, oh, by the way, Fred's live streaming this, and told the arbitrator and corrupted the arbitrator. I mean, the agency's already corrupt. But I can't say house, you know what?
House Negro. He's in the house. He's a house Negro. He's a house Negro. And so
who's the other one? The regional guy.
Dana Colbert. Regional. The guy who
he's now the South Central regional.
Yes, he's the one who terminated me with the falsified medical record. He came and testified. Now, mind you, he had nothing to do with me being on paid administrative leave. He continued it when he came in and continued it and said he had nothing to do with it, but found out the human resource manager, Christopher Moss, already had told on him in the EEO investigation that he had continued my administrative leave. So with that being said, he testified under oath that he didn't know why I was on administrative leave, but he still terminated me with falsified medical records. Not only that, he testified on the union. He testified on the former president and the current president.
Dined him out.
He dined them out.
Wow.
He blamed the union. He said the union came to me.
He said the union told him that he did not, the union president, who was my representative in my own arbitration hearing.
Who is it?
Ronnie Sims said that he told him that he did not want to represent me, which I had no clue.
They said he was forced to do it.
He was forced to do it by AFGE, which is the National Union, who I was going to expose as well for being silent on what was being done to me. But not only that, man, let me tell you how corrupt this stuff is. The union president testified under oath. Ronnie Sims testified under oath that he had no social media account. Now, mind you, when he said that, I'm like, why is he lying about not having? Now, I know he got a fake account. He doesn't post like everybody else. He has a fake account. I'm like, why did he lie about having a social media account? So when it came to my time to testify, I'm testifying from the house. The first thing I do, I waived that redacted memo to let him know we ain't got to go no further than this. This my whole case right here, the redacted memo. They completely just bypassed everything that I said. So they go to continue asking me the questions. We go into a break, a mini break. I'm recording live now, Facebook Live. They come back from break. Catherine Saraville, the Attorney General from Washington, she comes back and say, we have some housekeeping rules. For one, slow down when you speak. We want the court recorder to keep up. I said, cool. 2, she said, are you recording this live? She startled me. I'm like, I knew they was watching me, but to know that they was watching me right then and there, I kind of freaked out because I'm like, they finna shut the whole arbitration down now because they. But then again,
And she
I'm
said
like,
that in front of the arbitrator too?
yes. So watch this. She said, "Are you recording live?" I said, "Yes, I'm recording live for my protection for my civil lawsuit. I have a civil lawsuit pending." I said, "I don't trust nobody right now, especially after Ronnie Sims just lied on the oath, and the union regional director Danny Colbert lied on the oath. I don't trust nobody right now. So of course I'm recording. I'm going live so people can see what's going on." So I said, and y'all all have already offered me $300,000. This is the transcript right here. I'm gonna show it. This is the transcript. You all have already offered me $300,000. I don't trust nobody right now. I said the cover up is deep. I am recording for my protection. And she said, "But are you recording?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She looked to the arbitrator and told the arbitrator to tell me to stop recording. He told me to stop recording. I stopped recording, and then after I stopped recording, I let her know. I said, "You know you just told on yourself, right?" And I said, "How did you know I was recording?" The arbitrator comes back and said, "You can't ask any questions right now. We asked the questions." I said, "Damn, what's going on?" I later found out, because after the arbitration hearing was over with, I sent the mass email out, where her is the main. I said, "How did you know I was recording?" I sent it out to everybody. Do you know who the first person who emailed me back? She didn't respond. The union president, Ronnie Sims, responded. He said, "Man, why you send that email out?" Me not knowing that he was the guy who told. Now, mind you, he just testified under oath he don't have no social media accounts. But on the break, they went out on a patio and they were being witnessed. I had a witness come forward to me and tell me he saw them standing around his phone watching his social media account that he just testified to he did not have. They're all standing around his phone watching me go live. So when I found that out later on, but when he emailed me and said, "Why did you send that email out?" Now I'm like, "Nigga, I'm trying to get to the bottom of how she know I was recording." But it all made sense. He got frightened. He told on himself.
Yeah, he did.
He told on himself.
And the thing with those arbitrations is, it's like my MSPB thing. It's a lot different than I can actually subpoena people. We're in the process of doing that, but in the arbitration, it's less formal. So if Fred was allowed to be there, he could have been like to his attorney, "Here, make sure you ask him about this thing. Make sure you ask him about that. Put this in as evidence. Put that in."
Guess what?
With him not being able to physically be there.
Guess what? Had you been able to be there, you wouldn't have been able to do the Facebook Live.
That's true. But I would have been able to.
Introduce all that as
I would have
evidence.
been
Right, exactly.
all this.
No,
I would have
that's
been.
what I'm saying.
But
It's-
I'm thankful.
It's their fault that you were even allowed to do it.
Yes.
Or able to do it. Physically
Yes.
able to do it.
And
Yes.
let me ask you something, Kyle. If he was such a threat and everything, why did Homeland Security hire him?
Yeah.
And get this, and
Homeland Security.
Yep, and get this. With the Josh Smith thing, Fred had to pass what's called an SF-86, an OPM SF-86. The Bureau of Prisons does SF-85P. So the 86 is a lot more intense in the background check. It actually asks you, have you ever been arrested ever? So in Josh Smith's position, he should have to pass an 86. That gives you a clearance. Now, if you can't pass that, like Jared Kushner couldn't pass it. The 86 gets into more detail. Have you had any overseas contacts? Have you had any businesses overseas? It's a lot more stuff they're trying to figure out if you've had any kind of stuff outside the United States, terrorism related or whatever.
Right.
But so Fred passed an SF-86 to get into Homeland Security to work for them. But yeah, he can't go to his own arbitration. What kind of bullshit is that?
It's crazy.
And they couldn't have wanded him down and said, "Okay, we think you might have something on you. Okay, go through the metal detector."
So where are you with is your case over with now?
So get this. So I had a civil lawsuit pending and an arbitration hearing going at the same time. In the same week, my civil lawsuit got tossed out. Basically, they saying we got to refile based on that there's a new DOJ in it. the DOJ is claiming that they weren't in when I filed my civil lawsuit. So we got to refile. And on my arbitration hearing, which I got right there on the ground, I was told that Donald Trump has an executive order on my case. So basically, it's in stay right now. It's just in purgatory. We're just sitting there. And so now, basically, I'm just being elfed around, basically.
Hey, Kyle, can I run the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, we're about to wrap up anyway.
Okay, all right.
So what's next for you, though?
Just keep doing these podcasts, getting the word out, letting people know that the Bureau of Prisons is a criminal organization, along with the FBI, the Department of Justice,
About AFGE.
AFGE, OIA, OIG, Office of Special Counsel. You can't trust nobody. The whole thing is it's a broken system. Nobody wants to do their jobs. It's corrupt. And if they do this to officers, what are they doing to the inmates?
That's a good question.
And with the Epstein case, how can you trust anything they said about the Epstein case if they would go, we're talking about release the Epstein files, release this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the unredacted shit.
The unredacted version. And I challenge William Marshall right now and
Josh Smith.
I challenge them right now. I would shut the hell up. If they unredact this memo and they don't say what I don't think it say up under here.
So you don't know what it actually says under
I
there?
know what it say.
But you've never actually seen the whole thing?
I've never seen the whole thing. But I have an idea what it said because they're really dead in the water. Because they call themselves being smart by covering this up. But they left that date open. And not only that, they had management officials after I filed this conspiracy. This is the day I filed conspiracy. The next day I was sent home under a threat assessment where management officials said I was following him home, which I caught him up in a lie. Mind you, they sent me home on a threat assessment saying I was threatening supervisors. I beat those charges. I lost my job off of falsified medical records.
You didn't falsify them.
I didn't falsify them.
They did.
The arbitrator wouldn't even accept my medical documentation that I had prior to me getting terminated. He said I should have turned it in. In his ruling, he said I should have turned it in when I had the chance, which I wasn't even really thinking about that because in my written reply to Dan and Colbert, I wrote it so cold, I didn't think he had the balls to terminate me. Because in my written reply, I basically told him, hey man, this is conspiracy. This is a cover-up. I sat at home for 2 years and not one time have I been called to anybody's office to talk about my allegations, which lets me know this is a cover-up. And do you know that this man right here, Dan Colbert, who is the regional director, said he did not get this, and you can see it's stamped. And it says whistleblower protection rights. And it's stamped.
It is stamped that they received it.
Look at this one.
5 CFR 630 says you're only supposed to be at home for 10 days on administrative leave.
That's it.
That's a federal Code of Federal Regulations. They violated that too.
He received it.
Yeah.
But he said in the EEO investigation that he never got this. But it's stamped.
Yeah.
So that's how they just let you know that these people, all they do is lie. There's no investigations. There's no accountability.
Cover up.
It's all cover-ups. And William Marshall, I challenge you to see me one-on-one. Josh Smith, you parading Steve Harvey around Atlanta USP like y'all actually affecting change. If you really want to affect change, let's have a sit-down. I challenge those two administrative officials, them two versus me and him. Them two versus they finna start a podcast as well.
You should sit down and be on the podcast.
I was just about to say that.
You should sit down and be on the podcast.
I bet you they won't bring us on the podcast.
They probably will.
We challenge you.
I want to be on the podcast
yes,
too.
with all us.
Josh, I want to see you. And Billy Bob, I want to see you too.
Bring us on the podcast. I challenge you to bring us on the podcast.
They said no, uncensored, on whatever it is,
Yeah,
this is raw, baby. Let's go raw.
Transparency.
Complete transparency.
That's what they said. Complete transparency. If they don't have the balls to bring us on the show, there's no complete transparency.
All right, before we go, look, I have
one quick thing.
All right.
Fred, you posted something for me on Facebook there. What did a management official say about my first podcast I did, and what did she say about what glad somebody did to me?
Oh, she was glad her husband hemmed you up.
So
and you got that in a message.
That was yeah. So Tila Hugo from FCI Miami, who's also the new DHO there, she's the assistant health services. Unsolicited sent me a message on Facebook saying, "I hope you get dry fucked by a cactus," and all this crazy shit. It's on Fred's page. It's on Federal Bureau of Prisons Avengers page, and then at the end it has the chutzpah to say, "I'm glad my husband hemmed you up."
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So hemmed you up. What does that mean, Kyle? I mean that means
Fucked you up.
based
something to you.
So does that sound a little bit like a conspiracy to get me fired? By the way, her husband was my lieutenant over at FCM Miami, Stephen Hugo.
Wow. All right, before we go, listen, we had I don't have one for you because we were supposed to do Fred 2 months ago. I got a gift for you, and I'm going to get one for you, too.
Well, I'm local.
Yeah, you come back in a couple weeks when we have it for you. I got this gift for you from my friends at fbop.store.
Yes, backwards on purpose. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
It's also a belly over pants, but
it's perfect.
Backwards on purpose,
Backwards on purpose
coffee mug from our friends at fbop.store. Get your backwards on purpose merchandise. They got all kind of stuff over there. You guys got to check it out. fbop.store. Follow Whistleblower Fred on social media, on Facebook.
Fred Chambliss on Facebook and Whistleblower Fred on TikTok.
And it's not just about the BOP. Anybody whose civil rights are getting violated in Mississippi.
Yes. And
Whistleblower Fred's got your back.
I don't want to shout out to the grassroots media, the Mike Magazine, Leon Sears, who just beat Pearl Police Department 6 charges, and Mr. John C. Barnett, National Civil Rights Activist, Annie Evans, Johnny Brown, Mr. Willie Taylor, in Scotts County, everybody in Mississippi who got boots on the ground, even Marquare Bridges, even though he blocked me, but everybody, shout out to everybody who got boots on the ground in Mississippi. We all must come together because the corruption is real and all they do is cover up. If they'll cover up $100 million welfare scandal right in our face, what do you think they'll do to the small fish?
Exactly. All right, find us next time for the 10 Toes Podcast at 10toespodcast.com.
Hey, Federal Bureau of Prisons Avengers Facebook page, too.
Definitely check out that federal. It's on Facebook now?
It's on Facebook. Federal Bureau of Prisons Avengers page. I'm the administrator.
Join that, too, for Eric Spears. Eric and Fred, thank you very much. We'll see you next time on 10toespodcast.com.